And a very good evening to you all, folks. Welcome back to Real Tom Football. My name is Real Tom. I'll be bringing you my Premier League predictions for game week 17. We've finished the World Cup. Yay, the final, I believe, was last Sunday or the Sunday before. Can't remember. But no, it was last Sunday, wasn't it? Sunday the 18th. What a World Cup final it was, and it was an alright World Cup, I can't lie. But, I have been waiting for this moment to be able to record for you guys my Premier League game week 17 predictions. Oh, yes. So you'll be watching this on Christmas Eve. So Merry Christmas to you all. Of course, the time of giving. First actual Christmas, that, since 2019, the first proper Christmas, if you like. Everything's been normal. 2022 has flown by, if I'm being honest. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely Christmas. Spend it with your families, enjoy it. But we are going to start off with Brentford versus Spurs, because that is the first fixture, kicking off on Boxing Day at 12:30. Don't forget, all these matches are available on Prime Video, which some people are going to love it, because certain people don't have Sky BT. I get that, I understand it. Me, don't go down like a piece of cake with me, but who cares? I'm not the only person in the world. So, but we're starting off with Brentford versus Spurs, and to be honest, Spurs have not been in the greatest of form recently. Brentford have actually been in the better form because Spurs have lost 2-0 to Man United, 2-1 to Newcastle, won 3-2 against Bournemouth, should have lost that game, lost 2-1 to Liverpool, and only just beat Leeds United 4-3. So Spurs have been really scraping it in the last 5, but let's not forget that was a month ago, back in November. With Brentford, on the other hand, drew 0-0 with Chelsea, lost 4-0 to Villa, but then drew 1-1 with Wolves, drew 2-2 with Forest. Probably should have won both of those games. And then a huge 2-1 victory over Man City. And you know something, based on that form, and based on how good a team Brentford are, I'm actually going to go for Brentford 2, Spurs 0. I really am. I think they can do it. They haven't won yet, but there's been one drawn out of the 2 played. The win for Spurs came at home. It was a 2-0 victory then at the Brentford Community Stadium last time. They drew 0-0 with each other. Moving on then to Crystal Palace versus Fulham. Now, Palace have not been too great, have they really? I can't really say I've enjoyed watching Crystal Palace this season. Start of the season okay, but then just, oh dear, no. Yeah, Palace, not for me. Sorry. They have got 3 wins in the last 5, 2-1 against Wolves, beat Southampton and beat West Ham. Huge victory over West Ham, but losing 1-0 to Forest and losing 3-0 to Everton. I mean, really, Palace, come on. On the other hand, their opponents Fulham have had a fantastic season. 3-0 win over Villa. Brilliant performance. 1-3-2 against Leeds. Controversial, but who gives? You know what I mean? 0-0 draw with Everton. I thought they should have won that. 2-1 against Man City. Very unfortunate not to get a win. Same with Man United. Lost 2-1. Very unfortunate not to get a draw. It was both late winners in that match. But I think Fulham had a great season. And I think that they're a team who can absolutely, stay in the Premier League season. I think it could be a hat-trick of them all the promoted sides staying up this season. Because all of them, Forest have been a bit, but Fulham and Bournemouth have really gone above it and beyond. Fulham are set at 9th at the moment. They've had a great season. And based on these stats here about Fulham, what evidence do I have to not say that Fulham are going to win this? And do you know something? I'm sorry, Palace fans. I am. But I think Fulham have been brilliant this season. And I think that they will go a lot further than Crystal Palace. So I'm going to have to say Fulham 4-0. Brutal. But that's based on how Fulham have been this season. And we're just going to throw one out the window super quickly. Everton 3-0 Wolves. Why? Because Wolves have been absolutely shocking this season. I'm sorry to Wolves fans, yeah. I understand it, you know. But you are bottom, man. You are on 10 points. What have you been doing this season? Your defending is awful. You can't score goals. Like, you are literally the most boring team to ever to watch at the moment. And your opponents, Everton, have actually been all right, you know. 14 points, not great, but they have been better than you, and they have played some good football, Everton. So, yeah, I'm sorry to Wolves fans, but it's going to finish Everton 3, Wolves 0. Mopé is going to get on the score sheet. You know who else is going to get on the score sheet. Dwight McNeil. Just going to be an easy battering. Sorry. Leicester versus Newcastle United now. Leicester. They were where Wolves were at the start of this season, and only up until a win against Nottingham Forest did they get out of the relegation zone and bring themselves all the way up to 13th. Leicester were losing all the matches. They were known as rock bottom Leicester for most of the start of the season. Now look at them flying away. And look, no offence to Leicester fans, no offence to them, but I think Newcastle have been quality this season. I mean, based on where they are, they're in third at the moment. Let's not forget this. Leeds beat City, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. And Arsenal beat West Ham. And Newcastle beat Leicester, which I think they will. Newcastle go second. So look, Leicester, they could be going but rock bottom again. You know what I mean? Wolves could find some form. And Leicester could start to really lose a lot of games again. You never know. But for this time around, I'm going to have to say Leicester City on Newcastle 3, based on the perspective of how good Newcastle have been this season. They've got 30 points on the board, just 5 points behind City and 7 behind Arsenal. They've been brilliant in this season, Newcastle, under Eddie Howe. And I can't see anything other than that. Whether Leicester have been bottom or not, whether there's an opportunity for Newcastle to go second or not. Southampton versus Brighton and Albion. Now, I saw a mini highlights of Brighton's Carabao Cup match, and they were slow and sluggish and low-paced, really poor as well with those penalties. And you know something? I'm not convinced that they're the same Brighton before the World Cup. But Southampton, when they played their friendly, they looked energetic. They looked exciting. They looked so entertaining as well. And they gave us a game, you know, because only Southampton and Man United have managed to stop us in the Premier League this season. But it's based on that Charlton game where I have my doubts for Brighton at the moment, because they were really poor against Charlton, a lower tier opposition is beating you on penalties, and you can't get a shot on target against them. I have major worries for Brighton, and I was going to say, look, smash and grab, 3-0, off we go with 3 points to Brighton. But based on that Charlton performance, I'm sorry, but Southampton look more energetic and more ready, more team, just more. They gave more in their friendly. And you in your Carabao Cup match, yeah, even in their Carabao Cup match, they were energetic, they were fiery, they were ready to rock and roll. They just absolutely rickrolled and went with the 3 point. Went through to the next round. Brighton, totally different. So I'm sorry, Brighton fans, Luke Links. It's going to finish Southampton 1, Brighton 0, because that performance from Brighton and Hove Albion right before the Premier League starts as well, against Charlton Athletic, was shocking. Southampton 1, Brighton 0. We're moving on to Villa versus Liverpool now. Liverpool have just been this season. I'm sorry. 6th. They are 15 points behind Arsenal. They are. Excuse me. They are 10 points behind Manchester City and 8 points behind Newcastle. Liverpool have lost. I'm just going to go through it now. If I can find it. I'm going to go through Liverpool's matches. Look, I hate Villa, all right? So don't even get me started on all this. Oh, well, you're being controversial now. Because, I'm not. They started off with a 2-2 draw against Fulham. Fulham should have won that. They drew against Palace. Fair enough. Yeah. Palace, good opening goal from Zaha. Good domination of the game. Good play. But Liverpool did deserve the equaliser. So fair play to them. But it's when you go to Old Trafford. They beat them 5-0 there last season. It finished Manchester United 0, Liverpool 5. Not this time. 2-1 defeat. And you've got flipping Rashford and Sancho on the score sheet. And Mo Salah, 81st minute, consolation goal. Shocking. They were shocking on a Monday night against Man United. Man United Liverpool is one of the biggest rivalries in the world. And they lose 2-1. Then they bounce back and win 9-0 against Bournemouth, which was out of the blue. But you'd expect Liverpool to beat Bournemouth, just not by that amount of goals. They beat Newcastle 2-1, only just. Came back from 1-0 down. Drew 0-0 with Everton. Everton could have won that. Mopé with a disallowed goal. They drew 3-3 with Brighton. Brighton took the lead twice. Liverpool then made it 3-2 and Brighton came up with an equaliser. Beaten 3-2 by us. Beating Man City 1-0. That was the win of the season for Liverpool so far. Big win. Huge win. Very important. And it was Mo Salah with the goal to win it. Beat West Ham 1-0. I think it was Darwin Núñez on the score sheet. Then they lost to Nottingham Forest for Awani with the goal. Come on, Liverpool. Then they lost 2-1 to Leeds. Leeds broke a huge record, man. Crysencio Somerville with the winner at Anfield laid on. Unbelievable. They broke Virgil van Dijk's record. They broke Liverpool's unbelievable home record. And then 2 wins to finish off before the World Cup break, which were 2-1 wins over Liverpool and 3-1 win over Southampton. They've not been great. They've had some good wins, but they've been pretty damn poor. And Villa have been shocking as well, but they've started to just find that rejuvenation. And I wonder if Unai Emery could be after the perfect start. Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 0. This is the only Villa win I'll ever predict in my life. And I think it's a pretty obvious one. West Ham have been below expectation this season. They've been poor. They've not played great football at all, if I'm honest. And they've had some really shocking defeats, shocking performances, some really embarrassing home defeats. Look, first half of last season, oh my God, West Ham. Now it's just like, West Ham, Do you know what I mean? So Arsenal 3, West Ham 0. And I've gone for another shock one for you all. I did mention this, though, in a live stream. Chelsea have not been good enough this season. Why are you sacking Tuchel and bringing in Graham Potter? Graham Potter is not the man for Chelsea. And I can tell you that right now as an Arsenal fan. I saw it when we beat them 1-0 at Stamford Bridge. They did nudder. Absolutely nudder. And you're talking about, Aubameyang. Nothing personal. Whatever, mate. Whatever. Point is, Chelsea aren't the Chelsea that were Chelsea last season, to be fair. Romelu Lukaku's let them down. Last season, they had that problem with the flipping ownership because of the Ukraine war. And now this season, it just feels like with Conor Gallagher, Ruben Loftus-Cheek and all that, And they sold Rudiger. They sold a couple of players. It just feels like they're falling apart. They lose 3-0 to Leeds. They lose 1-0 to Arsenal. They've lost some games this season. And Bournemouth have actually been an energetic... They've shocked me because they've been really energetic, Bournemouth, and they've been exciting to watch in certain matches. You know, ever since that Scott Parker was sacked, Bournemouth have changed. So, I'm sorry. Chelsea won, AFC Bournemouth won. We'll go for Man United Forest next. Look, Forest starting to get more wins. But this time around, I think Man United are just too good. 4-0 Man United. And then we'll finish off with the game that could be the biggest game of the season because Leeds win. Arsenal go 8 points clear of Man City in the top of the league. It means that Newcastle, if they beat Leicester, have a chance to go second. Arsenal beat West Ham. 8 points clear. And if this result happens, City will need us to lose 3 times. Or 4. Look, there was the stats right here say that Leeds have won this fixture 7 times. Okay? How many times have Leeds won this fixture? 7. 7. City have won this fixture 6 times. Out of 18, how many been drawn? 5. Previous results. City 4-0 lead in 1992. Leeds 1-0 City. Man City 1. Leeds 1. Leeds 3. City 2. Okay. Leeds 2-0 Man City. Man City 0-0 Leeds. Man City 0-0 Leeds. Leeds 0 City 1. Leeds 1 City 2. Man City 0 Leeds 4. Leeds 3-0 Man City. City 2-1 Leeds. Man City 1-1 Leeds. Leeds 2-1 City. Leeds 1-1 Man City. Man City 1-2 Leeds. Man City 7. Leeds 0. Leeds 0. City 4. Now last season, forget it. Yeah, Leeds were shocking last season. They had second season syndrome, but this season they've beaten Liverpool. They've beaten Chelsea. They gave us a game. They've given other teams a game. They've been better this season, a lot better. Yeah, they were like the first season when they came up, 2020. They were fire. They were absolutely brilliant. Last season they were. This season they've been absolutely unbelievable. Leeds United, and you know what? Yeah, forget that 4-0 and that 7-0. Because if those weren't there, and they won those both, it would be 8-4. No, it wouldn't. It'd be 9-4 wins. Quite clearly, City struggling in this fixture. Only last season, City pounced on Leeds struggling. This season, Leeds have changed. And I think a team who has broken such a prestigious record at Anfield, to Liverpool, to Van Dijk, can absolutely smash it at home to Man City. Yeah. And Leeds can really write some history here because, well, Newcastle could go second. Yeah. They'll be helping a lot of teams out. They'll be helping themselves out. Yeah. If they win this fixture. So, come on, Leeds. Leeds 2. Man City 0. Writing history is what Leeds have done, have a track record of doing, and I believe they can do it on Boxing Day. They can literally, if they win that fixture, God knows what could happen this season. If they lose it, all of a sudden it goes back to title race is on. And the title race will still be on if Leeds win. but it means that we have to lose 4 games, or our 3 or 4 games, for City to even have a chance of climbing in front of us. And it also gives Newcastle, a team who have performed so well this season and only lost 1, a chance to really come back to the glory days and maybe go second, have a go at us. So it's a big fixture. Well, a lot of people just see it as Leeds Man City, but actually that fixture can change everything for Leeds, for City, for Newcastle, and for Arsenal. And maybe if teams like, I don't know, Wolves or Southampton, no, forget Wolves, Leicester, maybe your Bournemouths, maybe your Fulhams, maybe your Forests could look at Leeds winning this fixture if they do, and go and have, it could be a confidence booster for everyone else, the smaller clubs. It'll be a confidence booster for themselves and Jesse Marsh, who, to be fair, I think he's a bit overrated, but he's building something at Leeds. He's rebuilding the club. He's rebuilding the team. You know, that second season syndrome's over now. And I think that what Marcelo Bielsa did to the club was quite incredible, you know. But now it's a new era. And it's about, can they grow further and further? Will they ever get relegated? Or will they just keep growing and giving us shot results and really playing some nasty, proper dirty football that we all love? Well, I'll leave that one for Wednesday. But listen, you guys are watching some Christmas Eve, so I just want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, yeah? Merry Christmas to everyone from the Real Time Football team. Stay safe and have a lovely Christmas. Bye-bye.